This is a true story. Do not turn yet. There is a hand beside you on your chair. It may be yours. Is someone crying? Who's crying? It's too soon. History will be changed. The murderer will be apprehended. Not all of us will die, and perhaps one day no one will shrink from the future. Even the purest logic is a form of melodrama. Something lurks. My first meeting with him, he was very drunk. A crowd had formed around him. Though he couldn't hold anymore, he continued drinking. He must have been very dizzy, but that didn't seem to be enough. I soon began to feel that all of my qualms were justified. He could not hold even another sip. Slowly, quietly, he spit up from moment to moment. Something was pushing through him, trying to jerk out. Was it the alcohol? His resistance? Was he fighting it? Was he afraid of something else as well? Was he feverish? That little girl is dying, someone said. We couldn't tell anything. An ambulance was called. From behind the camera to which I clung with guilt, I smelt in alternating currents, cheap wine, shit, and decay. Finally, when he stood up, somehow it was good to know he was only drunk. There were drunkards all around him, but only he attracted a crowd. His size made him seem so distant. There was a certain regularity to his drunkenness. A pattern was suggested, repeated. He may somehow have known what he was doing.
How you feeling, buddy?
Would it be a mistake to use this poem here? Use this child as a lightning rod. The smile of colloidal distress is bliss. Bliss the match-head, matchless, lying down to iron it out. Use this child as a lightning rod. The smile is a weapon. Of course, something worse happened. Did he run through the thought of running? The ghost of running? It could not be wrong to say a shadow was about to move. He took his pulse to check the composure of something. Somehow the crowd was gone. He just sat there, disappearing into the surroundings. Someone dropped a dime. Why doesn't he seem pleased with it? Was it of no value to him? He tried to put it to some use. Use this child as a lightning rod. Why was he smelling it? I suppose, having extracted that part of the drunken state which suited his needs, he no longer needed the liquor. Somehow he knows to wet the dime first. It is becoming more difficult to decide when to say what. If there would be time left, then it would be too soon to say there is no time left. But how to tell? And I made the mistake of becoming so involved that I lost the focus. The bottle must have been cold. The hands were warming the bottle. The air warmed, expands, escapes, passes through the water, the mucus, around the meeting rims, unpredictably switches rim sides. The dime, the round metal, moves, dances. I found that he held a fundamental interest in the distribution of particles and masses. He was also preoccupied with pressure, and dizziness was his medium. He had seen other bums do this and was trying it out for himself. His habits are not what they seem. The driver noticed my camera, although so far the child hadn't. He was just not interested in the money. decided not to report him. Somehow he knew what he was doing. I wanted to see this to the end on his terms. Protective authorities would only hinder his purposes. If there would be time left, then it would be too soon to say there is no time left. But how to tell? Watching him, why did this come to mind? At worst, there would be nothing left to kill. At best, there would be nothing left to kill. But the difference is enormous. He walked along the Bowery, taking 2 steps on, 1 off the sidewalk, using a long, heavy board, not too apparent in the film. I couldn't believe it. He used the board to strike his leg very hard. What could have been on his mind at that time? In terrible pain, he reacted normally up to a point. Is there any thought which will not torment him? Came to mind. He has changed legs, shifted the weight to the injured leg. Does he run to aggravate the pain or merely to redistribute it? Don't worry, I said. No, worry. So far in all of history, there are no thoughts which are not drunk, dulled, made shaky by the automatism of thinking. I think he doesn't want anything to go on as it is. Do I mean that? I was not sure that the pain was no longer there in his jumping. He is growing differently from all other children. It is willful. It is this difference which will change everything. Why are the odds against him? I sense his danger. It is not night, but if it were night, it would be very scary. He is only 7 years old. I have watched this film many times. No animals will rush up to bite him. A dagger will not be drawn. It will not pierce his heart. He will not die of thirst. His liver will not explode. The House Un-American Activities Committee will not interrogate him. His lips will not be torn off, nor his leg mangled any further. But he is haunted, perhaps by the sense of danger. He is the last of the line. He must repossess the point. But he is not sober. But what is sober? One thought might be chosen from another, but the thinking process itself works like an automaton without our understanding. What have I said? What has made me say it? For what? Why is he doing that? I don't know. Even the purest logic is a form of melodrama, just another expression of the automaton's feeling about its home or destiny. He does not look for sympathy, but for change.
Hey, watch out, Dad. Of course, watch the street when you cross. He's my friend. Leave him alone.
He was still dizzy, or maybe drunk. Dizziness was his medium. He does this often, 2 or 3 times a day. It's one of his regular exercises. He's in search of something. Until it is found, he will not leave a stone unturned, untapped, unsounded, indeterminate. Double, triple, multivalent tappings. He will continue to do this until all qualms are justified. My theory is he was trying to exhort perception to perform along new lines. He viewed this as his only means of escape. From what? Who still needs to ask? Looking way down and way up establishes the zone for investigation. Through constant exercise, can what is automatic be trained to make slip-ups? Be worked manually? Would it be wrong to say, memory must be razor sharp, colored, dried into black and white, coughed like a razor? These are exercises to perfect a misfiring. He looks to compound his mistakes into freedom. Was he correct in supposing the finger in his ear would alter his vision? Or would it be misleading to say, two eyes are two snakes? Watch their every move. Or that to determine the limit of misapprehension, lie along the eyes. There is not a moment to lose, too loose. I wonder what is not on his mind just now, for a double moment to sharpen its sights against. Spider-Man, who can still perceive a web as comfort. He uses anything he finds around him to adjust the way he is. Mistake to say that as he walks away, he reviews everything he has gone through just before, compares it to his present state as to position, intensity, and perhaps clarity. I would guess that that is not an idle swing. It is Sunday morning, very early. As he leaves the hotel, I sensed he was being followed. Someone is stalking him. The headless horseman is climbing up past his shoulders. What seemed at first to be a random mixture of childish and drunken gestures turns out to be another distinct set of exercises related to the previous ones, included here for the sake of comparison and because these exercises were such a basic part of his life. To give a sense of this drama, I must say that someone very close to him will be the death of him. If he is not trying to escape, what is he doing? From far away, a tremor catches on through all the Bowery fire escapes, before the next second begins. An eye pressed in, the surroundings move out in spite of it, while the other eye follows what moves. And he shakes his head like a salt cellar to sprinkle luminous dust or make light. And use this child as a lightning rod. So hard to see, he sees nothing. I've seen him close his eyes with a long, deep, piston-like stroke. But these are exercises to perfect the spiral, to see what else he can do. What is not upside down just now? Is he practicing to smile inside towards himself? Why did I think of that? Except for the thought that his smile is a secret weapon. Of course, the wind stops before it starts. He had a terrible toothache. Dizziness was his medium. He banged his head indeterminate against the pavement. Double, triple, multivalent tappings. The tooth is out in front of him. It's hard to see in the film. Would it be wrong to say the ghost of pain was still not uprooted? Or that a shadow was about to move? He held a fundamental interest in the distribution of particles and masses, which he balanced carefully with a profound concern for pressure. Steadfastly, he practiced jumping the gun. The man who stalked him was after his life, and there were moist palms merely waiting to be told what to do. He anticipated the scatter. There was a premonition that he would live to be his own survivor. History would be redistributed. If there is such a thing as ghosts, all thoughts are ghosts. Had he anticipated the scatter? Double attack, sun, combination, depth for swaying, admixture, pain, weather equals sentiment, but heat burns it out. Hollow, deaden, climb, separation. The sun closed his eyes with a deep stroke. Warmer. To move through not seeing, to see just what is not seen. Had he anticipated the scatter? Tree and wind, moving so that he could hear himself talking. Then what I was seeing was his thinking. Object on, object bubble. A man walked by and broke his bubble. Object man, object anger. Anger, object fists, object, oppose, in opposition, locked, in gear. Bends, subject, object pole hardens. Subject shifts, anger returns to energy, pseudo-object process, transfer. Bull transfer. Vertical anger, not anger. Controls up. The mechanism continues applying itself until the energy group once summoned, now transformed, walks, remembers drunkenness, runs out. Smallest movements. Memory almost stable, pulling longest memories. In and out before shortening. Smallest movements. Before shortening, pulling longest memories, in and out, memory, almost stable. I think I heard him say, "Good night." water drunk. All qualms are justified. Mapping dizziness. Small craft warnings were posted. Irrigating memory. For what? He was always thirsty, and so was his thirst.
I'll always stand and wait for you at night. We will create a world for two. I'll wait for you the whole night through. For you, Lily Marley. For you, Lily Marley. Bugler tonight, don't play the call to arms. I want another evening with her charm. Then we will play.
As he reverberates across the street, this is an example of one of the most trying, extensive listenings ever to have occurred since the beginning of recorded history. It is amazing that he is also able to walk while doing this. Probably he had seen the passerby as an apparition which suggested the sound he was trying to reorder. He held a fundamental interest in the distribution of pressure, balance, and the meeting points which could pivot.
Where are you going after that?
This may have been his only film.
I warn you, up there. You know what you're doing. Gotcha.
He was on his way to the playground where he spent 3 or more hours a day. It was his study. He used the standard motions which the toys, the configurations of the playground suggested as the starting points for the variations which he sought. Spinning is essential. All qualms are homogenized. 10 shadows are about to move. Impressive, it blends impressions. Viewed in another way, it allows for slips, misfirings, covers ground efficiently, reactivates, lying down, steady transition, shifts direction, scale, intensity of spin, compares. Arm as a marker, a receiver, a foreign object. One moment rankled, the next a torrent walked by. A new dizzy emulsion. Through much practice, he had become so familiar with dizziness that a dizziness which could cause the ordinary person to faint would give him great comfort. If such a state were prolonged, he would feel something similar to excitement. An indecisive emulsion forms. Log forms forwards, forms anti-dizziness regulatory axis. works it up, plays it out. He thinks of turning around, but that would give in to the spin. For further study, backwards forms the catalyst. He is a master of hiding, but he still needs more practice. Is the water a catalyst? He alters his form of expression for the new shell. Compares this and previous means of deception as to pliability, obedience, intimacy. Often when he seems the most ordinary, he is the drunkest of all. Each toy in the playground is the center of an important aspect of his research. This is key. What he labors to figure out here, he applies each moment to his living on the Bowery. As he slides his memory, his listening, his seeing, not by chance. He is growing up differently from all other children. It is willful. It will change everything. It needs much practice. To catch the slide, extremely useful. To catch himself unawares, sliding past sliding. To walk lying down also keeps him on his toes. Swinging, so essential for the redistribution of attention. Also, it is chemically sound. Introduces a random element, also very important, which makes him smile if he is not too busy. He is fascinated by the innocence of children. They view him with fear or disgust. Total reversal is mandatory if dizziness is to be viewed from all sides while moving freely. To master this angle as well, each day he practices writing his name in this position. Look at what is happening to his eye. Certainly suspense was no stranger to him. Steadfastly he practiced jumping the gun. Moist palms were merely waiting to be told what to do. Against the grid. Who could have been so thoughtful to have arranged for it? It was just what he needed. He viewed the possibilities, made sure to see what he saw, then practiced seeing what he could not see. Small craft warnings were posted that day. A shadow was about to move. For what? He enjoyed a fundamental interest in the distribution of particles and masses. He was very particular. His enjoyment was massive. History would be changed. An outside chance. He took it. And compared the swings. He wanted to find what this was relative to. From memory. What name was he looking for? All qualms are justified. Dizziness is his medium. To know the odds, he must feel for the center. He walks to the center, climbs in after himself. His center is way off center, by choice. There is no part of this attack. This is more of an attack than an exercise which is not premeditated. What makes me think of vampires? If air were only more stable, his fingers would touch the same milliliters each day. Question of his not doing this tomorrow at the same time. I am now saying the ghost of his tomorrow, which may already be the present. Do you feel I'm lying? What I say is not so? Would that all narrators were as demented as I. He had traffic with ghosts. Undeniable apparitions haunted him to be aware of danger. What a lovely day for dying, someone whispered just beyond his hearing. His center is way off center, by choice. He invited the sun to stroke the dizziness which was his medium. prevent you from becoming sick of the sound of my voice, tired of my hysterics, I will tell it simply. He is walking in a rectangle, trying out walks to suit the directions. Then, to follow the direction further, or follow the following, he will lean in that direction. I think he has it all written down, drawn out. He checks the paper to see if he is following the directions properly. He tries a circle, leans into it. Does the opposite. With the rectangle still present, he zigzags through it. Now he looks to see what he can come up with and is walking by moving at random. He checks this against the randomness suggested in the drawing. Small craft warnings were posted that day. How misleading would it be to say, one moment rankled the next, a torrent walked by. Dizziness spreads out definition, climbs over the nerves, not through, cuts off some circulations, provides for others, cuts through the brush, makes new footpaths, sends shock waves to places, formulations, otherwise concealed. Knowing him, it was impossible to tell whether the scratching had been started by a random itch or not. He scratched in the same direction, pattern, based on the same drawing as he had walked. This seemed to me extremely significant of something. One shoulder, then the other. Each foot, a rectangle. He scratched the back of the rectangle too, scratched a circle on his chest and on top of his head. Zigzagged. Random. Dizziness spreads out definition, makes a sliding checkerboard pattern of true and false light, feels past the sense of sense endings, dances on the rims of perception, unpredictably switches rim sides. he was after it, on guard. His heart beat him mercilessly. If there would be time left, then it would be too soon to say there was no time left. But how to tell?
Listen! 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 Listen!
I was the victim of a premature attack. Perception would have to be exhorted to perform along new lines. At worst, there would be nothing left to kill. At best, there would be nothing left to kill. But the difference was enormous. He could not escape walking, his walking. A crowd did not form. No one called an ambulance. Footsteps narrowed into perspective, roared. He listened for the hand steps which might follow. Then would ceasing start and taunting stop? Would it be a long tease between? If he were struck by his own pulse, it would not be a mistake to say, the day was just long enough to be full of treachery. This exercise reminds me of an American Indian poem, Ojibwa, I think. The sun walked out on me, but I walked out on it. Can I find the chairless chair, the careless care? So seeing, so saying, I will pick the message written to me as not me 4,000,001 years ago, and be so right that all secret shall be a sweet root on my tongue. That half-light shall look at itself through me and know its double. I would give my arm to the sling of a great monster. Let my legs walk out on me so that I could clap into the ocean and not against the wind. Where will I find the means to change my ears completely? When will I be smarter than my thumb? Who is putting wishes in my potato? If I see you, I will clap and thus slip by history to one who understands. To achieve this union, I will from now on consider air to be oil. Lovely day for dying, someone whispered just beyond his hearing. Through a dizzy grid, he watched the child at work. Obviously, he policed himself. dizziness was his medium, transfiguring he walks. He has catalogued all tints which come before color. All qualms are justified. An exercise in contradiction. He had drawn a triangle, was thinking of a triangle. The thought of ghosts. All thoughts are ghosts. From shoes to cans. He smoothed it into a circle, which is not what he wanted. For the dispersion of the garbage, he changed his mind. No thoughts are ghosts. His memory in fine shape. Once he had formed it, it could be quickly redispersed with no loss to memory. It was important that everything be in place, ready for the final attack. Perhaps the murderer would be apprehended. All necessary adjustments made, comparisons remembered. Usually he only looked for comparisons or listened. Now as a means of reinforcement he meddled with the objects, set them up to ease his reordering. The man who stalked him was after his life. There could no longer be a question of it. He policed memory using the stopwatch he had become. The thought, the sight, the sight, the sight, the sound and the previous one were not in sync. He measured his sights and followed the ghosts of traffic. Is there any thought which will not torment him? He hopped to escape the walking ghost. His center is way off center by choice. A shadow was about to move. What was he after? He gestured for more. He held a fundamental interest in the distribution of particles, especially his. I had never seen him so clean. Fear loosened. He was always thirsty, and so was his thirst. Once, he had been drunk enough to peer around the corner at himself. Dizziness, which spreads out definition, feels past the sense of sense endings, seeks diversions, shores these up.
Fuck you! Oh! More! Fuck you! Fuck you more!
He stared at the paper to give it goose pimples. Would the folds suggest new patterns for the dispersion of energy? He made appropriate substitutions. What was he after? Perhaps he would like to watch himself die in front of his own body. What is not upside down now? see the ice cube in his hand. Now he is picking up a live cigarette butt. An example of the extreme measures he must take. His smile is secret weapon. Use this child as a lightning rod. It was 4 o'clock, July 10th, 1971. He balanced on the precipice for more than an hour. Why did it occur to me that he tripped over his own suspense, which was his foot? None of his appendages were immune to it. Would his leg suddenly wave goodbye to him? Would an arm walk away? Would his penis turn into a clitoris? Would he grow up not to be alive? He ran, took a hand at random to follow its direction. All qualms are justified. He ran up, took a hand to follow its direction. When he seemed the most ordinary, he was often the drunkest of all. He practiced sleeping standing up. As he closed his eyes, I must have heard, "What a lovely day for dying." Yesterday backed up so he could move past. A shadow about to move is a simple sentence. Are all qualms justified? His movements are run-on sentences. He bends down to tie his shoe. I wonder what is not articulated just now. He smooths a crack, fills it in. Language would be taught to speak to itself. It is memory which has been hit again. The less sense to the words, the more room for sensing. What is not far-fetched? I looked for him all day. Backed up when I spotted him. Memory slides. Pressure remembers balance. Which ghosts? Who can remember? Remember that moment when he was listening to music. Oh yes. Twisted, dreaming moment. Oh yes. He is preparing for a summation. Dizziness is his medium. would be taught to speak to itself through dizziness or crashing. I think he is coming to a conclusion. Crashing. For this moment, he has catalogued all tints which came before color. Lying down to iron it out. He is growing differently from all other children. It is willful. But I walked out on it. Half light through me knows it's double. A breath of oil spins off me to change my ears completely. Oh, I am putting wishes into potatoes. Crash as a flash, motivated and measured. He puts pressure on balance. Does he estimate the impact? Anticipate the scatter. This child as a lightning rod. It is crashing, he is crashing. most like this? For what? What a lovely day for dying, someone whispered just beyond his hearing. Dizzy fever. The playground. Spin. Study the transition. Arm, head as a marker, a receiver, a foreign object. Chance. He takes it. What is not upside down now? Object shoulder. Locked in gear. Memory shifts. Runs out. Triple multivalent tappings. He hit his leg very hard. Memory shifts, runs out. Not hitting. Not really. Not made of rubber. I know that somehow he likes what he is doing. Hotel. Where else has he been? Some other words. Now he is trying so hard to see, he sees nothing. Something was pushing through him, trying to jerk out. What is not just now? All his crashes are designed to misfire. He is looking for accidents and remembering. Just seen and what he has not seen. He has never been so calm. His terms are not ours. There can be no explanation of this, what he is doing in our terms. He does not want anything to be the way it is. I wonder what is not on his mind just now. Ice. Paper. Traffic. String. Listening. Dust. Fingers. Swing. Scratching. Dizziness. If there would be a second left, then it would be too soon to say there is not a split second left. But how to tell? If he is not trying to change everything, what is he doing? has never been so calm. August 29, 1971. Another secret weapon